Welcome to our deep dive into serving leadership. You've shared The Serving Leader with us, and I'm really excited to explore its insights. This book isn't just a theoretical framework, it's packed with real-world examples of leadership that makes a real difference.
You're absolutely right. The Serving Leader goes beyond the typical leadership book by showing how this approach can transform businesses and communities.
The story follows Mike Wilson, a seasoned management consultant, initially. He's pretty skeptical of serving leadership. It seems a little too touchy-feely for the cutthroat world of corporate strategy he's used to. But when his personal life intersects with his work, his perspective starts to shift.
His father, Robert Wilson, is heavily involved in a community project centered around serving leadership. He asks Mike for help, and that's where Mike's real journey begins.
He visits all sorts of organizations, a thriving factory in the inner city, a cutting-edge biotech firm, a mentorship program for children of prisoners. Each one is led by someone who embodies the serving leader model, and that's where things start to get really interesting for Mike.
What's fascinating is that these leaders, despite working in such different environments, all share this common thread of serving leadership. And the book explores why this approach, which seemed counterintuitive at first, is so effective.
Mike's dad, Robert, provides a really simple but profound definition of serving leadership. You qualify to be first by putting other people first. It's not about climbing the ladder. It's about lifting others up.
That idea of prioritizing the needs of others is central to the serving leader model. It's not just about being nice. It's about actively empowering and inspiring those around you.
The book then delves into 5 powerful actions that serving leaders take. The first one is run to great purpose. Serving leaders don't just focus on tasks. They connect those tasks to a larger purpose that serves others.
They understand that people are motivated when they feel like their work has meaning. Take Aslan Industries. The manufacturing company in the book is created to address a very specific need in the community, a lack of jobs.
Instead of just focusing on profits, they saw a way to address a social issue. I'm curious, how did that commitment to purpose play out in Aslan Industries' day-to-day operations?
Well, Aslan Industries' hiring practices, for example, were designed to empower individuals who might not have traditional qualifications, but who were eager to work and contribute to the community. They offered training programs and mentorship opportunities to help their employees grow. Their purpose informed everything, from their product development to their marketing strategies. It became part of their company culture.
That's fascinating. So it wasn't just a slogan. It was truly woven into the fabric of the company. What about the second action? Upend the pyramid. It sounds like it goes against the traditional top-down management style.
Absolutely. Instead of clinging to power, serving leaders position themselves at the bottom, dedicated to supporting their team members. They see their role as empowering others to lead.
Can you give an example from the book of what this actually looks like in practice?
Dorothy Hyde, the leader at Aslan Industries, perfectly embodies this principle. Instead of taking credit for successes, she consistently highlights the contributions of individual team members. She seeks out their opinions and encourages them to take ownership of projects.
So it's not about diminishing her own authority, but about leveraging it to help others grow. I'm starting to see how this upending the pyramid could actually create a more engaged and productive workforce.
That's exactly right. This kind of leadership fosters trust and encourages innovation. It creates an environment where people feel valued and empowered to do their best work.
The third action, raise the bar, seems a little counterintuitive. How can you be both serving and demanding?
It might seem like serving implies leniency,
Yeah.
but that's not the case with serving leaders. While they're compassionate, they're also committed to excellence. Take BioWorks, the biotech firm in the book.
They're known for their rigorous hiring process and their unwavering commitment to quality. How do they balance those high expectations with a serving approach?
BioWorks sets a high bar for both performance and ethical conduct. Their commitment to excellence attracts top talent,
Oh, cool.
but it's their genuine care for their employees that makes them truly stand out. They offer extensive professional development opportunities and create a supportive work environment where people feel valued and challenged to grow.
It sounds like they've managed to create a culture where high standards are seen not as a burden, but as an opportunity for growth. This raise the bar action really highlights the fact that serving leadership is not about being a pushover. It's about pushing people to reach their full potential.
Exactly. And it brings us to one of the paradoxes inherent in the serving leader model.
Yeah.
You have to be selective to serve the many.
That's an intriguing concept. How can limiting who you serve actually expand your impact?
It's about focusing your energy and resources on individuals who can then multiply your efforts. By carefully selecting and empowering those who embody serving leadership principles, you create a ripple effect that reaches far beyond your immediate circle.
So, it's not about turning people away. It's about strategically investing in those who can amplify your impact. This makes me think about the fourth action: blaze the trail. It's not enough to simply support and inspire. Serving leaders must actively remove obstacles hindering their team's success.
They recognize that people can't thrive if they're constantly bogged down by unnecessary roadblocks. They become adept at identifying and eliminating barriers, paving the way for others to follow.
In the book, Will Turner and Martin Goldschmidt work with community leaders, teaching them to dismantle the obstacles holding vulnerable populations back. Can you expand on how this trailblazing plays out in a real-world setting?
They help those leaders identify systemic issues like lack of access to education or healthcare, and then guided them in creating solutions. They empowered those leaders to become advocates for change within their communities. It wasn't about handing out quick fixes. It was about equipping them with the tools and knowledge to make a lasting impact.
So, it's about empowering others to become trailblazers themselves. What about the fifth action? Build on strength. This one seems pretty straightforward.
It might seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Serving leaders have a knack for recognizing and leveraging each individual's unique strengths. They foster a culture where everyone can contribute their best. Understanding the diversity of thought and experience is an asset, not a liability.
The No Name team, working to revitalize Philadelphia in the book, is a great example of this. You have this incredibly diverse group of people, each with their own strengths and perspectives, coming together to achieve a shared goal.
And that's what makes serving leadership so effective in collaborative settings. It's not about everyone being the same. It's about harnessing the power of those differences. When people feel valued for their unique contributions, they're more engaged, more creative, and more likely to go the extra mile.
Now, one of the things that really resonated with me was the discussion of paradoxes in serving leadership. We've already touched on the need to be selective to serve the many. Another one that struck me was the idea that raising the bar is actually an act of service.
That's a key paradox. It might seem counterintuitive, but by setting high standards, serving leaders demonstrate their belief in their team's capabilities. They push people to grow and excel, which ultimately benefits both the individual and the organization.
It's about having faith in people's potential and then providing the support and resources they need to reach it.
Exactly. It's not about being demanding for the sake of being demanding. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels challenged and supported to achieve their best.
Another paradox that caught my attention was the idea that you protect your value by giving it all away. Can you unpack that one for me?
This paradox speaks to the idea that true leadership lies in empowering others. By sharing your knowledge, skills, and experience, you create a legacy that extends far beyond your own tenure. You invest in the growth of those around you. And that investment ultimately comes back to you in the form of a stronger team, a more resilient organization, and a lasting impact on the world.
It's almost like the more you give, the more you receive. It's a powerful reminder that leadership is not about hoarding power or knowledge, but about empowering others to lead. Now, as we follow Mike's journey, it's clear that he's not just observing these serving leadership principles, he's undergoing a personal transformation.
His initial skepticism gradually gives way to genuine understanding and even embrace of these principles. He starts to see how they apply not just to businesses, but also to his personal life and relationships.
That's an important point. Serving leadership isn't just a set of techniques. It's a way of being that can influence every aspect of our lives. What were some of the key changes Mike experienced as he embraced these principles?
He becomes more self-aware, recognizing his own strengths and weaknesses. He develops greater empathy and compassion, not just for those he leads, but for everyone around him. He learns the importance of humility and the power of letting go of the need to be the expert.
It sounds like he's growing up as a leader, aligning his internal world with his external actions. This personal growth is a recurring theme throughout the book.
Absolutely. The author emphasizes that you can't effectively lead others if you're not constantly working on yourself. Personal growth is essential for becoming a more authentic and effective serving leader.
Mike's transformation takes him to some unexpected places. He ends up working with his father's no-name team on a community revitalization project.
That experience is pivotal for Mike. It exposes him to the power of collective action and the importance of diverse perspectives. He learns to value the contributions of those who might not have traditional leadership backgrounds, but who bring a wealth of experience and wisdom to the table.
And his relationship with his father deepens as they work side by side, sharing their hopes, dreams, and even their fears.
It's a beautiful illustration of how serving leadership can strengthen personal relationships. By focusing on serving others, they inadvertently strengthen their own bond.
As Mike becomes more involved in this community work, he starts to see that serving leadership isn't just about doing good deeds. It's about cultivating certain character traits that are essential for effective leadership.
He recognizes the importance of humility, empathy, and integrity. He understands that true leaders aren't motivated by ego or self-interest, but by a genuine desire to serve others.
It's about leading with the servant's heart. This reminds me of Mike's encounter with Admiral Rock Butler, a seasoned leader who has embraced serving leadership principles throughout his career.
That meeting is a turning point for Mike. The Admiral shares a powerful story about Nehemiah, a leader from the Old Testament who was tasked with rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem.
It's a story about vision, determination, and the power of inspiring others to achieve a common goal.
The Admiral emphasizes the importance of purpose, of having a clear reason why drives your actions. He explains that serving is not about self-sacrifice. It's about aligning your actions with a purpose that's bigger than yourself.
And that's when Mike really starts to understand the true potential of serving leadership. He sees how these principles can be applied not just to businesses and communities, but to any endeavor where people are working together to achieve something meaningful. It seems like Mike's journey highlights the transformative power of serving leadership, both on a personal and professional level. But I'm curious, does the book address the challenges that serving leaders inevitably face?
You're right. Serving leadership isn't always easy. The book acknowledges that setbacks and failures are part of the journey. It even dedicates a whole chapter to discussing how even the most successful serving leaders encounter obstacles.
So it doesn't shy away from the realities of leadership. How does the book suggest dealing with those inevitable failures?
It emphasizes the importance of resilience, the ability to bounce back from challenges, learn from mistakes, and emerge stronger. There's this great quote from Mike's father that stuck with me. Mistakes aren't the issue. What you do with them is the issue.
It's a powerful reminder that failures aren't the end of the story. They're opportunities for growth and reflection. It's not about avoiding mistakes altogether. It's about how we respond to them.
Exactly. And that idea of learning from failures applies not only to our own mistakes, but also to those of others. Serving leaders extend grace to their team members, recognizing that everyone stumbles at times. They create a safe space for experimentation and learning, encouraging people to take risks without fear of harsh judgment.
So, it's about fostering a culture of psychological safety where people feel comfortable admitting mistakes and learning from them. Throughout Mike's journey, there is this recurring theme of connection. It's evident in his evolving relationship with his father, in the camaraderie of the no-name team, and in the way serving leaders prioritize building genuine relationships with their team members. Why is this emphasis on connection so important in the serving leader model?
Because true leadership is never about isolation. It's about building strong relationships and fostering a sense of belonging. Serving leaders understand that we're not meant to go through this journey alone. We need each other's support, encouragement, and diverse perspectives to thrive.
It reminds me of the African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Serving leadership seems to embrace that collaborative spirit.
Absolutely. By celebrating each other's successes, offering support during challenges, and working together towards a common purpose, we can achieve extraordinary things. One of the things that makes the serving leader so compelling is that it offers practical advice, not just lofty ideals. I agree. It goes beyond theoretical concepts and provides actionable steps for anyone who wants to become a more effective serving leader. Can you share some of those practical takeaways that resonated with you?
The book encourages readers to start by identifying their core values and clarifying their purpose. It also highlights the importance of investing in team members' development, providing them with opportunities to learn and grow. And it emphasizes the need to actively remove obstacles that are hindering progress, creating an environment where people can thrive.
It sounds like a blueprint for building not just successful organizations, but also stronger, more resilient communities.
Precisely. And while the book focuses on organizational performance, it also offers valuable insights for personal growth. It's a reminder that serving leadership isn't just about what we do in our professional lives. It's about who we are as individuals.
That's a crucial point. It's about integrating these principles into every aspect of our lives,
Yeah.
from our interactions with family and friends to our involvement in our communities.
It's exactly. Serving leadership is ultimately about making a positive impact on the world around us. And that impact starts with our own choices and actions.
As we wrap up our deep dive into the serving leader, what are your final thoughts on this approach to leadership? What message do you think it offers to listeners who are eager to make a difference in their own spheres of influence?
The book reminds us that anyone can become a serving leader. It's not about holding a fancy title or having a certain level of authority. It's a mindset,
Hmm.
a way of being that's accessible to all of us, regardless of our background or position.
It's about leading with humility, compassion, and a genuine desire to serve others.
Exactly. And it's a journey that's full of challenges and rewards, but ultimately, it's a journey that can lead to a more fulfilling life, a more meaningful career,
Hmm.
and a more just and equitable society.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into serving leadership. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. We encourage you to continue reflecting on these principles and exploring how you can incorporate them into your own life and leadership. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep serving a